Let's make sea urchin. It's still moving so much. Oh, it's moving a lot. These are really expensive because you have to dive to catch these. Now I'll take out the uni from the wall of the sea urchin. This stuff tastes so creamy. A little bit of mayonnaise, pepper, a little bit of salt. Bake these at 400 till golden brown. A little lemon mayonnaise, a few crispy potatoes, a couple pieces of our sea urchin, and then a couple microgreens. It's my favorite food in the world. Let's make crispy pork belly. This is a whole pork belly. You can see right along the edge here that this is how you'd make bacon. First, I'll make 2 nice cuts right down the middle, then gently cut 1/4 inch slices down to the first layer of fat. Your cut should end right here. Rub equal parts brown sugar and equal parts salt all over everything but the skin. Give the skin a nice big sprinkle of salt and leave this uncovered in the fridge overnight. So now that this has been in the fridge for 24 hours, place a wire rack under it. And we'll place this in the oven at 500 degrees for about 50 minutes. Once your skin looks crispy, turn your oven to 250 for the rest of the cooking process. Now that's what we call a crispy pork belly. Holy shit, that's good. Let's make homemade barbecue wings. Buttermilk, pickle juice. Let these sit for half an hour. For our barbecue sauce, brown sugar, ketchup, vinegar, Worcestershire sauce, mustard, garlic powder, smoked paprika, hot sauce, butter. Whisk over medium heat. For our dredge, potato starch, 325 for about 7 minutes. Now that right there is crispy. Lemon zest and that sweet, delicious barbecue sauce. Oh baby. That's perfect barbecue. Let's make deep fried ramen. Before I fry it, I'll show you what I did for a school snack as a kid. Then I just ate it raw. First cook your ramen as usual, then dry that shiz off. In 350-degree oil, start layering your noodles. How good does that look? This snack is a cheat code. Let's make strawberry tongue hulu. Start with 2 cups sugar and 1 cup water. Bring it to a boil, but don't stir. Shake it if you need to. When your sugar starts to get a little color, dip something in there and then directly into a glass of ice water. If the sugar on the end gets crispy, we're ready to dip. Into our sugar and then into our ice water. That is one shiny strawberry. That is crazy good. Let's make chicken and waffles. To brine, cover them in pickle juice and buttermilk. Dry your wings and then toss them in a bowl with a little potato starch, a little chili powder, a bit of orange zest, and a little salt. Fry them up about 8 minutes at 375. That is ultimate crisp. We'll add our waffle mix, dredge our chicken wing, and place it onto our waffle iron. Voila. This is the new gold standard for chicken and waffles. A little maple syrup and some maple crunch. Yeah, that's just pretty absurd. Let's make homemade butter. Add in your heavy cream. Cover your butter with cold water and press out all the buttermilk. When the water gets murky, rinse it out. Repeat until the water runs clear. To get those last bits of water out, give the butter a nice spanking. Rest this in the fridge. That's a big stick of butter. Damn, that's good. Let's make vanilla extract. Fair warning, this recipe takes 1 year. So if you have no patience, get out of here. Now that I've got everybody with some vision, let's make this. You'll need 5 to 6 vanilla beans. These little black dots are the bits of flavor inside of vanilla beans. Stuff these into your glass jar. Now we need vodka or bourbon. I'm kidding. Fill this up with about a cup of liquid. Then seal it and let it sit at room temp for 6 to 12 months to develop. This is way cheaper than buying vanilla extract. Make this now and it'll be ready in time for the holidays next year. Let's make homemade candy canes. 2 cups sugar, a 1/4 cup light corn syrup, and a 1/2 cup of water. Give it a nice little stir. Bring this to a boil over high heat. When the mixture hits 300 Fahrenheit, take it off the heat. Pour half your mixture onto a silicone mat. Place the other half in a warm oven. Fold this over itself until it turns white. Add some red food coloring. Fold in a little peppermint extract. Place this in a warm oven for a few seconds. Stretch it, then twist it. That's a handsome looking candy cane right there. Also, fun fact, did you know that the candy cane J is shaped for Jesus? Well, not the easiest thing I've ever made, but really tasty. Let's make pumpkin spice bubble tea. hot water, and brown sugar. Stir until the sugar dissolves. Turn off the heat and add 1 tablespoon of your tapioca flour. Back on the heat until it starts thickening. It should look something like this. Now add the rest of your tapioca flour and mix until you have a dough. Add a little more flour if needed and continue kneading the dough until it's uniform and soft. Now we have our pearls. Boil for 20 minutes. For our tea, we'll add 2 cups of milk and 2 tea bags of chai. Then we'll add a sprinkle of pumpkin spice, sprinkle of sugar, and after 5 minutes, remove the tea bags. Then add 4 tablespoons pumpkin puree and a dash of vanilla extract. So I've made this beautiful gold boba. I'll color a couple with black dye to show you what that looks like. Well, this looks ridiculous. You can't beat homemade. Let's make Arctic char. Just this morning, this beauty arrived from Iceland. To me, this is one of the most beautiful fish out there. Come right around the side of his head. And then I want to go all the way down. Now I'll flip the fish over, make that same nice cut. So all of this will scrape off, and this is what you'd find in a spicy tuna roll. Brush your hand along the fish to find the pin bones and gently pull them out to remove them. Now this right here is that perfect portion of fish. We'll get some salt all over this bad boy. Tablespoon of clarified butter. Once it smokes, fish in, skin side down. Press and hold. Turn the heat to low and let it crisp up the skin for 5 to 6 minutes. Now add a nice big hunk of butter. Flip your fish. Add some aromatics, a little orange zest, and a little lemon pepper. Listen to this skin. I really think that's one of the best fish out there. Let's make quesabirria tacos. How's my pronunciation? To a blender, add your peppers, a little vinegar, olive oil, half an onion, a handful of cilantro, salt, pepper, cinnamon, and whatever other spices you want. Char a few cubes of Wagyu and pour our birria over it. Cover and place in the oven at 250 for several hours. This is one of the best things I've smelled in a while. Cut your cheese into cubes, dredge your tortilla, and place it in a hot pan. Flip it, then add some of your meat and cheese. Fold it up. This is a work of art right here. Just look at that thing. Dip it in my sauce here. That's one of the best things I have had in a while, and I eat a lot of food. Let's make candied lime slices. Cut really thin slices. This is a good thickness. In a pan over medium heat, add 2 cups sugar and a cup of water. Whisk until the sugar dissolves. Shake once in a while and let the sugar dissolve. Then add your lime slices and let them cook over medium-low until the rinds become translucent. Don't let your liquid brown. Lay out your limes to rest. Does that not look gorgeous? No, it's not crunchy. It's chewy and it's delicious. Let's open a rare caviar lime. We've all seen normal caviar before, but have you heard of a caviar lime? Technically, they're finger limes, because they're sort of in the shape of a finger, but I like to call them caviar limes. Listen when I push my knife over them. It's literally a rare type of lime that produces these caviar-like eggs. For just one of these, you could buy a whole bag of limes. Just like caviar, it's crunchy and it pops in your mouth. Let's make bacon tong hulu. Lay your bacon across a baking sheet. Add a little lemon zest and some lemon pepper. Toss these in the oven at 400 till crispy. This is some foamy, crispy bacon. Add in 2 parts sugar and 1 part water. Bring this to a boil, but don't stir. Just twirl the pan around if you need to. Be gentle. Once you dip a stick into your sugar and then into ice cold water, and it's hard and crunchy, we're ready to dip into the sugar and then right into the ice water. I've never seen such a shiny piece of bacon. We just made bacon way better. Let's make chicken pot pie. Start with a rotisserie chicken, remove its thong, and separate all the meat. A little bit of olive oil, onion. After 5 minutes, add some sweet potato and regular potato. Add in 5 tablespoons of butter, along with a few frozen mixed vegetables. I'm being lazy. And coat them all with butter. You don't need very specific measurements for this. Just have fun with it. I promise it'll work out. Sprinkle in a half cup of flour. Now we'll add in about 2 cups, half and half, and 2 cups of chicken stock. Add in your chicken. Season with whatever you want. A little porcini mushroom powder, garlic powder, chili powder, onion powder, salt and pepper. Add your filling into an oven-safe pan. Lay a piece of store-bought puff pastry over the pan. Trim the edges, crimp with a fork. Place this in the oven at 400 for 20 minutes, then 350 for 20 more minutes. Now this is just plain old deliciousness. Golden brown, flaky, and delicious. It just doesn't get better than that. Let's make salmon sushi. Yeah, no, that makes sense. This right here is a beautiful king salmon, and it's fresh out of the cold waters of Canada. You already know it's time to cook this baby up. Start with a clean incision right around the head. Just look at that gorgeous meat. Now I'll begin cutting down the spine with my knife. Now in one swift motion, I'll remove the belly. And with a pair of pliers, take out all of the pin bones. Now we cut it into portions. For our sushi roll, a piece of seaweed, spread out some rice, a sprinkle of furikake, then flip this, add some aioli, a few pieces of our salmon, cucumber, avocado, crispy onions, and some salmon eggs. Roll it up and give it a nice hard squeeze. Who else's favorite food is sushi? Here we go. Yeah, sushi's the best food ever. Let's cook a live king crab. We'll start by giving him a little kiss. First, I'll put Mr. Krabs down. Now once he's all broken down, I'll place him in a pot of boiling water, break the joints, then slice down the shell. Get all that beautiful meat. I'll never be able to express to you guys how fortunate I am to get these amazing products to work with. A lot of it is thanks to you. Slice an avocado. Yes, I cut the pit in half by accident. We'll start with our nori, press on our sushi rice, then our king crab, avocado, a little soy sauce and mirin, and some furikake. Then roll it up and slice. That's probably the best bite of sushi I've ever had. Let's make the perfect caviar bite. Keep your caviar cold. That's rule number 1. For the blinis, 1 cup all-purpose flour, blue algae, a half teaspoon baking powder, pinch of salt. In a separate bowl, 3/4 cup milk, 1 egg, and a tablespoon melted butter. Combine and whisk these ingredients together. Add your blini mix. I like to give my blinis a soft, pillowy top and a crispy bottom for texture. Immediately you can tell this is perfect caviar. It's from an Osetra sturgeon in Russia. If you ever get caviar, take a few pearls, rest them on your tongue, and just feel the individual pearls. They shouldn't be broken. That is good caviar. We'll start with creme fraiche, then our caviar. Listen, a nice hunk of caviar. Ah, now that is a treat. Let's make fruit leather. Start with a big handful of berries, then a nice drizzle of honey. Now blend it up. Strain it over silicone or parchment paper. Flatten it out, then bake about 6 hours at 200 Fahrenheit. Peel this off and lay it flat on your cutting board. Cut it into portions, roll it up, then tie it up. These make the best, cheapest holiday gifts ever. It's like a fruit roll-up, but better. Let's make grouper. Look at this thing's tongue. It's like a human tongue. He's a funny looking fish, isn't he? I know you guys probably expect me to kiss and slap this fish, and I'm not gonna do it. Are we good? We off camera? Take a sharp knife and come up around the fin and finish by coming around the head. Slowly come in from the tail and follow up along the spine with our knife. And here's our first grouper fillet. Then we'll slide our knife along the skin, cut a portion for our sandwich. Dredge this in potato starch and a few spices. Place it down in smoking clarified butter. Get those bad boys nice and crispy. For our sauce, we'll add a splash of buttermilk, some mayonnaise, hot sauce, celery salt, onion and garlic powder, squeeze of lemon juice. Sauce, crispy piece of fish, purple cabbage, a few bull's blood microgreens, some cilantro, a little more sauce, and then our bun. Here we go. That's delicious. Let's make edible cookie dough. We'll start by toasting 2 cups of flour. In addition to giving us flavor, this is actually an important safety measure. Once you start to smell that nuttiness, turn off the heat and add 2 tablespoons milk powder, my secret ingredient for the best cookies ever. And just a little pinch of salt. Set this aside. In a mixing bowl, add a cup of brown sugar, a 1/4 cup white sugar, and 2 sticks softened butter. Whisk about 1 minute. Add a splash of vanilla extract and combine. Then add your flour and milk powder and whisk that until well combined. Slowly drizzle in 2 tablespoons of milk, then finish with a nice sprinkle of chocolate chips. Now your mom can't yell at you for eating raw cookie dough anymore. Here we go. Hot take, cookie dough is better than cookies. Let's cook a $300 steak. First, let's just take a second to appreciate this marbling. This is A5 Japanese Wagyu, the highest quality out there. And it comes from a special farm in Japan where they feed the cows a sake mash. The cows might actually get a little bit drunk. I only want salt on here, no pepper. We want the flavors to speak for themselves. Steak down. After a quick sear, flip it over. Look at all that fat. Couple of chives. That's just unbelievable. Let's make homemade marshmallows. Start by oiling a rectangular container, then set this aside. In a stand mixer, add 1/2 cup of water and 2 packets of gelatin. Let this bloom for 10 minutes. Now to a small pot, I'll add 1/2 cup of water, 1.5 cups of sugar, and 1 cup of light corn syrup. Stir to combine, then cook over medium heat until it reaches 240 Fahrenheit. Once it hits 240, mixing on low, begin to pour in your hot liquid. At this point, it smells really bad, and that's okay. Add in a little vanilla extract. My homemade vanilla extract isn't quite ready yet. We still have to wait about 350 days. Now beat this on high until your marshmallow forms. Once your marshmallow is nice and fluffy, add powdered sugar to your container and pour in your marshmallow. Allow this to set for at least 4 hours. I'll add some confectioner's sugar to my cutting board and then dump out my marshmallow. Cut nice squares and you'll end up with the perfect squishy marshmallow. So squishy. Some foamy hot chocolate, a homemade marshmallow. Torch it and enjoy the best hot chocolate you've ever had.